Hello, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you're doing? And welcome to the live match preview between Manchester United and Athletic Bilbao. We're going to be getting into the press conference very, very soon, guys. The press conference is well on its way. I'm going to bring that to you live, guys. So look out for that. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today, guys. I know it's a little bit of a late notice. These press conferences, they come at different times. Every single day, every week, it's different times, different time. So you know what? I'm just waiting for that to come along. But thank you, everyone who's joining me. Thank you, everyone who is. You know what? Don't forget to smash a like on the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new, guys. Thank you so much, guys. That'd be absolutely fantastic if you guys could do that for me. Thank you so much. There's a lot to get through, of course. Manchester United are facing Athletic Bilbao tomorrow, in which ultimately is the most important game of our season, and probably the most important game, for a long time for Man United. I mean, there's the FA Cup final. You could say that is a very important game, of course, but this one, it does determine what will happen in our future. Our future is incredibly important, of course, and what will happen in our future depends on tomorrow. And and that is what it's all about for us. Forget about anything else. Forget about transfers. Forget about what's going on with Bruno, etc. This is our bread and butter. This is what it's all about. This is what can change us. We can only change our own fortunes, of course, guys. That is what is the most important. The overlaying fact here. We can only change our own fortunes. Now, I'm hoping that the press conference will be my time, I think. Hopefully it will be my time. Hopefully. That would be great if it can. That would be fantastic. I'm just waiting for that to come along, guys. And then we go from there. But here we go. I'm going to bring you the conference now. Guys, hold tight. Thank you so much, guys, for being patient. And let's bring that to you now. Let's wait for it to start first, and then let's wait for it to start first, and then we'll go from there, of course. So we're waiting for Ruben Amorim to come, of course. Look, there's lots of news in regards to Athletic Bilbao. The fact that Inaki Williams and Nico Williams are not playing, along with their striker is not playing. So I just don't feel like where they're going to get the goals from. I really don't. I don't feel where's it going to come from? These goals, and I just don't feel like they're going to have a chance tomorrow. I really don't. I know it sounds a little bit overly zealous for me. Of course it does, but I mean that is only because I can't see where they're going to score. I mean their biggest attacking threats are not on the pitch tomorrow, and I feel like Manchester United should be very, very comfortable. I feel like we should be very, very comfortable, guys, and we should be confident that we're going to go through in this game, guys. We should be confident we're going to go through in this game. This is what it's all about at the end of the day. It is about tomorrow. This is what our season is. So let's get it in, guys.
Start with Simon.
We noticed Delete wasn't trained today. What is the severity of this issue, and who else is unavailable?
It's not a big issue. That is a good thing. He cannot play tomorrow. Will not play on Sunday, but then we will check day by day. We will see. The rest, I think, Aiden doesn't recover. Toby is not available. I think that's it.
Obviously, you've got a big lead going into this match. We've seen some negative home results this season. So how important is it? How complex is this season?
That is clear, because also if you look at our season, anything is possible. So we have to understand that one goal can change everything, the momentum of the game. One sent off, you saw it 1 week ago. So we are prepared to fight to win the game, not to thinking about the result. Of course, that matters in the way we are going to do things, especially when we start the game. But of course, we are thinking about winning the game.
Question for Alejandro, if I may. You've started the last 13 games. It's clear how important you are to the manager, to the club. There's been a lot of speculation over your future, but do you expect to be at Manchester United next season? Do you want to be at Manchester United next season?
Yeah, obviously, as a footballer, you always wanna read and listen some rumors about the future. But I have contract here until 2028, so I'm happy here.
The manager obviously took you out of the team against Manchester City a few months ago, but you've been in every squad since then. Have you done anything differently in terms of the way you approach games, training? Because it's been clear to everyone watching you how hard working you are.
Yeah, obviously we know you have to work hard to be even in the squad, and then I just have to train well every day, and I will be available for all the games.
Ruben, there's been a lot of speculation over the last 24, 48 hours about Bruno Fernandes and his future. Alejandro has mentioned there's a lot of rumours around. What is your view of Bruno Fernandes and his importance to this team and this squad, not just for the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but going forward?
I think it's easy to understand that, not just because of the numbers, but the way he plays, the importance that he has during his 5 years. I think here he's a top player. We need the top players. He's a leader. He's the captain, so he's really important. It's normal that there's a lot of clubs that want a player like Bruno, like Garnacho, like others, but we want to keep the best players, and Bruno is clearly one of the top players in the world. So our idea didn't change. We want Bruno here.
So that is pretty obvious in regards to Bruno there. Big up, Asif. How you doing? We want Bruno here. A lot of clubs will want a player like Bruno, of course, because he's a quality player. I think it's pretty obvious that Ruben Amorim wants to keep Bruno. I don't think he wants to sell Bruno. It would be absolutely nuts if he wanted to sell Bruno, to be honest with you. But obviously, it does depend on Ineos. I am not one of those people who are going to blindly support Ineos and everything Ineos does and everything like the Glazers do, because that is not, wise to do that, because through evidence, they don't really shine, do they, over the last 12, 13 years? And we have to remember that, and we have to be, a little bit cautiously observating the Glazers and Ineos, of course. Bruno is touchable, says Asif. Big up, Asif. Hope you're doing well, bro.
They build up since the defense, the midfielders, the offense, and they create the chance. It was more like we have the ball, we lose the ball, we have problems. So we could show to the players that sometimes we have one idea that 30 minutes with a lot of problems, and we try to describe slowly and to show to the players why we had that problem. So we watched quite a few times, and we showed to the players the simple moments to show why we had so many problems in the first 30 minutes.
Question for Alejandro, mate. You're one goal involvement away from matching Cristiano Ronaldo's record at this club when he was 21, 25 goal involvements in the Premier League. I just wondered what kind of example does that set to you? What parts of your game do you think you need to improve to keep going the path that you are?
But I'm not focused on the numbers. I think when Cristiano played here, it's a different football, a different type of games. I just try to help the team and try to win games. And obviously, misses chances and things like this. For example, we are training really hard. Me, Rasmus, all the strikers in the team. So I think we are improving, and we will try to do better.
Do you have this kind of conversation with Rasmus about when to pass the ball, when to you pass the ball yourself?
I speak. I speak with him a lot. We try to help each other, but sometimes it's from this side it's difficult, But we try hard. We train hard every game to try to all of these chances. For example, try to score more of them, and the team will improve if we score more goals.
Is the Lyon game a reminder that you can't take anything for granted? You're 2-0 up, then 4-2 down, came back, And does that show almost tomorrow night the biggest danger is not Athletic but yourselves, your chances of progressing?
It's everything together again. If you look at our team, we cannot control. We cannot say today what is going to happen. There are some teams in any league that can understand the game is going to be like this, can change a little bit, but the story is going to be like this, and we can control the narrative of the game. We cannot do that. So we have to face the game as one more game. We need to. I feel that we need to score to go to the next round. So that is clearly the way we are going to face the game again. And then we use some image. Brentford. We are near the draw, but we suffer a goal and suffer another goal quite fast. That can happen. That happened 4 times here in Manchester United. So we know that is going. We will have to suffer a little bit to go to the final, and we are ready to suffer. And we need to be better in the small details in this game.
So you don't know which Manchester United will turn up tomorrow night?
It's hard to say, and sometimes it's not what kind of team we will be tomorrow. Sometimes even during the game we are one team, something happen, and we lose our mind a little bit. So, but we are improving the way we play. We are more confident, and we are ready to face this challenge.
Ruben, I appreciate it's always about the collective and the team, but I know you played in a European final in the Europa League almost 11 years ago. But as a manager, this will be the first time you manage a European final if you can get United. That's on a personal level. How much would it mean to you as a managerial issue to get there despite all this going on this season?
I think the meaning is you have to win it. As a manager, is not like the same as a player. You want to play, you want to enjoy. When you are a manager, you have to win it, because if you lose in the final, it will hurt even more, especially in this kind of season. So we have to win it. But for that, we need to focus on the semi-final. So I think it's different from coach to a player. But we need to focus first in our semi-final, then we'll think about the final.
And just a quick word on Athletic. They're travelling without Nico, Inaki, Williams and Sanchez as well. So how big of a blow could that be for them, especially because they need to score something?
It doesn't matter. For us, it doesn't matter. For us, it's the top team of Athletic. I understand that it's hard to play with key players, but for us, it doesn't matter. We need to go to the game. It's a final for us, so we need to go to the game and try to win the game.
Paul.
Hi, Ruben. Arsene Wenger was talking about the Europa League the other day. He said that UEFA should review the procedure for the finalists. The finalists should go back into Europa League, not the Champions League. Is that something you disagree with? Because you obviously had to fight along with it.
No, I don't have nothing to. I just know the rules. If people want to change the rules, by all means. But these are the rules, and the rules are: if we win Europa League, we go to Champions League. So we follow just the rules. I don't think a lot about that. I know that Champions League should be for the teams that are champion or the best teams on the league, but they find out this way of promoting this kind of competition. So we just follow the rules and try to manage this end of the season with that. So we cannot go for by the Premier League. We follow the rules and go and try to go for the Europa League.
We'll take some from visiting media.
Yes, Jonas Gerdes, RTL Germany. Ruben, a few weeks ago, in a moment of big frustration, you labeled the team as maybe the worst one in class history of Manchester United. From today's point of view, now being close to reaching the final, what do you think about this quote? Thank you.
I think you have to see the quotes in the moment, so things can change. And for me, in that moment, and if you look to Premier League, I think we are the worst. Since I arrived, we are the worst team in terms of the results in Premier League. That is my idea. In the end of this season, we can be the worst team in Premier League in history with a European title. So we will not change nothing. We know that this season was really disappointed for everybody. Nothing is going to change. So in that moment, sometimes I have to think a little bit more, but I felt that, and I still feel that this season was the worst in I don't know in history, but for sure in the last, I don't know, 50 years, I don't know. I have no idea.
Thank you. Just one question to the player, because if a manager is talking like this, what's going on in your mind hearing this kind of quotes, and what's going on in the locker room?
In terms of what, sorry?
In terms of these drastic quotes, like being the worst team.
Yeah, we know we are not doing a great job in the Premier League, but the manager said before we follow the rules, and now we have for us it's a final. Tomorrow we're gonna face the game like if it's 0-0, and we'll try to win the game, not just the global. And yeah, then if we win the Europa League, we will be in the Champions League, and then we can face the next season with a better mentality and different way.
Okay, one then.
What do you expect from tomorrow night's game, Ruben? And with the Williams brothers missing?
The idea of the team don't change. Of course, if you look at the game, Berenguer could play on the left. He's a different player from Nico. He's playing more inside, make a different movement. Jallo, I know quite well. Jallo could get in the team. He's quite similar in the way he moves with Iñaki. So, of course, Iñaki is a better player in this moment. He has experience. Sunset is a player that they don't have with that characteristics. He could play Gomez. Gomez is a left foot, could change the side. So I think the idea of Athletic will not change, but the characteristics of the players will change. And that is important for us to know, to understand better the game. So it's going to be a strong team with a strong identity, with some players that are not playing so much. And that's it. That happened in any team.
Okay, in the middle.
Thank you. Alejandro.
Alejandro. You know Pachi Alonso. I don't know, you've been sending each other messages at all. What are you saying to each other? How you sort of live in the game, and what's he saying about the game tomorrow?
¿Español o en inglés?
English. It's up to you. You can.
No, sí, es un amigo de la familia.
He's a family friend, and we get on well. We've met up a few times. He's a fan of Bilbao and Athletic Bilbao, yeah. He said, congratulations on the first leg. He wrote to me and the win. And he said that he's going to come here with every intention and effort to try and make a comeback in the game tomorrow.
Alejandro, obviously United have a very big history of flying wingers going back many years. Since Ruben came in, the system, the formation has changed quite dramatically. How have you found the change, the adaptation to this new system, playing as like a number 10 and not an out-and-out winger? And do you think we can actually see your best in that position, or do you still very much see yourself as an out-and-out winger?
Yeah, I think it's difficult for everyone when and it's in the middle of the season when a new manager coming in and we change the formation, but we just need to follow the rules, and I'm trying to improve every day. Obviously, the manager knows the characteristics of the players. If you see the games, too many times I play, for example, wide on the wing, and the wing back is coming inside. So we will try to do, depends of the players we have, and yeah, I think we are improving as a team also.
Has it been hard, like mentally, tactically, as well as the game, to make that adaptation for you personally in the season? Have you found it a challenge?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit hard, but it's just a mentality, you know. I think the first two months, when I think November, December was very difficult for me. But yeah, my mentality is to keep working, to keep trying, and show to the manager and all the stuff that I have to play, and that's it.
We'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that was the press conference for Manchester. Let me just quote this. Okay, that was the press conference for Manchester United against Bilbao. Guys, hope you enjoyed it. lots of telling quotes there. Some very, very important quotes I would read out in regards to Ruben Amorim, what he said. He did say, we have to score tomorrow. We know that games can change. You look at the Brentford game. You look at a number of games this season at Old Trafford, and, you can concede one, you can concede two, and everything can change. And that's very, very, very true, because, this is why we have to approach the game in a way that we have, it's 0-0. And Garnacho said it there. Approach the game like it's 0-0. Yes, we are 3-0 up, but it's not over yet. I mean, Athletic Bilbao, yes, they're missing Nico Williams. Yes, they're missing Inaki Williams. But the game is not over yet. So we have to approach this game 100%. In regards to Bruno Fernandes, as I said, I mean, I said earlier on about, we could accept 500 million, like my guy Asif said. But we cannot guarantee that 500 million is going to go towards building the team, building the squad. People who want to support Ineos with money and who are collectively with the Glazers, it would be very naive, isn't it? To be honest, if we're being honest with ourselves. And, I honestly think, reading Ruben Amorim in this press conference, that, he loves Bruno, of course. He kept Bruno out of the limelight. I like that. He kept Bruno away from the cameras, which is good, and brought in Garnacho. Good to see Garnacho speaking a lot of truth. The media did ask Ruben Amorim about this being the worst Man United team of all time. And Garnacho just shrugged it off and said, yeah, we're not playing well in Europe, but we're not playing well in the Premier League. But, rules are rules. And we win the Europa League, we qualify for the Champions League, which can ultimately change the course of this football club going forward, of course, and I agree with that. It just takes a spark. Like I said, it will just take a spark to change everything at this football club. And winning the Europa League, of course, would be that spark, in my opinion. It would be that spark. And, we have to be confident that we can win tomorrow and end up winning the final, of course, which likely is Tottenham, but it's not over yet with Bodo Glimt. Bodo Glimt, of course, are a very, very good team. Asif, let me just change this up 1 second. If I can get this in 1 second, guys. There we go. Asif, we got to score first, Sal. That will be purely put on Bilbao to do or die situation, and can end up leaving lots of spaces in the back line. Agree, Asif. And one thing I would say is that what Man United need to do is we need to look after ourselves. We need to make sure that we're tight and not conceding any goals. In the opening stages against Bilbao last week, we saw some good play from Bilbao. Bilbao were pretty dangerous. But I wouldn't say that they're like, wow, oh my goodness me, we're in so much trouble. And when you have the likes of Inaki Williams and Nico Williams and Sensei, who's going to be out as well, their striker, you look at it and you think, where is their threat going to come from? And, Man United shouldn't really be scared of them. And I don't think we will be. And I think absolutely, Asif, I think Man United just need to be calm. And if Man United score first, then the game is basically done. It is really. Look, they're going into tomorrow's game needing 3 goals, having to win by 3 goals, and I don't think they can do that, to be honest. Anything can happen in football, and Ruben Amorim said it there in the press conference. He said it there. He said that, you know what, you can concede a goal. You could go down to 10 men. Ruben Amorim said that just now. And, that is true. Football can change. Football is funny, isn't it? So you can go down to 10 men and it can change the whole complex of the game. And then you're chasing shadows after that, isn't it? And it's a little bit like what happened with Athletic Bilbao in Bilbao, of course. And as Ruben Amorim said, anything can happen. 10 men, for example. He said, of course, guys. He said, we have to win it. Even if we lose, it will hurt even more. Yeah, what he said is about we have to win this game. We have to win this tournament, because if we lose the final, it will hurt even more. So Man United, it's all well and good going to the final, but it's not only about going to the final, guys. It's about winning this competition. Going to the final is just the first step. But we got to try and win this competition, absolutely, and make sure that basically we don't because at the end of the day, it's no point losing the final. You might as well lose in the first round. And I agree with Ruben Amorim. In regards to the comments of Arsene Wenger, I find the comments about Arsene Wenger very bitter from Arsene, a man who was advocating for trophies for fourth place. This was Arsene Wenger. He was the man who was promoting fourth place. Now, Man United will win the Euro. If Man United win the Europa League, that would mean that they would have won 2 trophies to qualify for the Champions League. We won the FA Cup to qualify for the Europa League and the Europa League to qualify for the Champions League. So you think that coming fourth in the league is better than winning 2 trophies to qualify for the Champions League? I've always been an advocate for winning trophies. I think there should always be an incentive to win trophies. I feel like this is very hypocritical from Arsene Wenger, who didn't win a European trophy in 30 years at Arsenal. So I don't think he should really talk, because he became the fourth place FC, didn't he? And he didn't really win anything. So in regards to European competition. So Ruben Amorim said, we know the rules. People want to change the rules, but we know what the rules, and whatever has been said is irrelevant, because we know the rules. And in terms of the rules, until the rules change, we will go out to win this game and we will qualify for the Champions League. Exactly. We can't change the rules, but these are the rules, and I like these rules. I like these rules. I think there should be an incentive to win in England. There should be in Europe trophies, because we're going on the realms of let's finish 5th, let's finish 6th. What kind of champion is that? Finishing 5th, finishing 6th. That is worse than winning the Europa League and getting into the Champions League, to be honest with you, in my opinion, because at least if you win the Europa League, you're the champions of the Europa League. A bit like if you win the FA Cup, you're the champions of the FA Cup. So the Champions League for me should always mean the Champions League. Asif, they had a home game fan advantage, and I'm sure our fans will make loads of noise. Looks like Inter-Barca game. Inter will come out winners, and it just made most of their home advantage. Absolutely. Look, Asif, if we won the first game 3-0, but we played the first game at Old Trafford, if that was the case, then I would be a little bit more cautious about the way I'm talking and stuff, because, we have to go to San Mamés, and stuff like that. And we have to make sure we don't, it's the crowd and stuff. But we won the away game 3-0. I cannot think of a time in a European semi-final where the first leg has been won 3-0 away from home and it's been overturned. Man United win the 3-0. I mean, is incredible. I mean, Athletic Bilbao are lucky that there is no away goals, because the game would be over. They would have to score 4 to go through. So I'm pretty confident about tomorrow. I mean, obviously, we're not going to be overly giddy about tomorrow. We're not going to be overly zealous about tomorrow. But I'm pretty confident about it, and hopefully, Man United don't stress us out tomorrow. Hopefully, the game goes well, and we're not stressed out after bloody 10 minutes. You know what I mean? What Man United need to understand tomorrow is that the game is ours, and Athletic Bilbao, the ascendancy is for Athletic Bilbao to attack us. You know what I mean? And they have to, as Asif said there, Asif said that they would have their ascendancy is for Athletic Bilbao to attack us, and if they attack us, it's going to leave spaces, especially if Man United score a goal. If Man United score a goal, Athletic Bilbao are going to have to come at us in droves, to try and get a goal, like to try and lower the deficit, so to speak. And, I just can't really see how Man United can lose this game. I really can't, unless it is, as Ruben Amorim said there, unless it is a refereeing decision, etc. Now, the quote came out from Arsene Wenger, from Ruben Amorim again, that we are the worst team in the Premier League that can possibly win a European title. And he said it again. So he knows that we are the worst team. He knows that this is not the team that he wants for next season. This is not the team that, we want to start next season with. And for Man United to be winning a European trophy, being 15th odd place in the Premier League, I mean, I find it hilarious myself. I find it funny. I know that a lot of the media outlets out there have been spending their whole week hating. trying to change the rules as we speak, and it does make me giggle. It does make me chuckle somewhat because, as I said earlier, finishing 5th place, winning the Europa League. I think it's more prestigious to win the Europa League than fluke a 5th place in the Premier League for beating Burnley at the end of the day. That's what I would say. Do you know what I mean? I will always say that. I will always say that. And I will always be an advocate for trophies. Asif. Arsene Wenger is still obsessed with United, absolutely. Man United, if we win the Europa League, it makes United a champion of one major trophy, absolutely. How can they deny the fact that United is only unbeaten team in Europe? Absolutely, Asif, absolutely. Look, you know what? One thing I would say, Asif, about Arsene Wenger, and I respect Arsene Wenger. I lost a little bit of respect for him this week because of the moaning that is being applicated by him. But what I would say is that we hurt his career. We hurt his feelings. We absolutely destroyed Arsenal in the early days of our. Literally 20 years ago, we were smashing up Arsenal in the Champions League to knock them out of the Champions League. You remember that? And I just feel like there's still a little bit of hidden bitterness there because Arsenal were very good, but we were better. And we always got the better of them. And, we stopped them winning things. We stopped them winning titles. We stopped them winning, FA Cups and Champions Leagues. And I think that still bugs him a little bit. I think it still irritates him a little bit. Now, there were some quotes coming out from Arsene Wenger back in a few years ago when Atletico Madrid played Arsenal in the Europa League and Atletico Madrid knocked Arsenal out of the Europa League. And back then, Arsene Wenger was saying that, yeah, it's great that, Champions League, you get to win something. Winning something is more important. You win something and you get to the Champions League. And the hypocrisy is ridiculous. And, as long as it fits a narrative, he would change it. Because if this was Arsenal right now, talking about, Champions League qualifications via the Europa League, people were saying, yeah, I bet you anything that Arsene Wenger would be singing from a different hymn sheet. Arsene Wenger would be talking about, oh, yes, it's a good idea. Champions League football, if you win the Europa League, I think that's a good idea. I think that should happen. And blah, blah, blah. I think he'd be talking from a completely different hymn sheet, in my opinion. Big up LT, what's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. Wenger was an Arsenal coach, and let's be blunt. He's that two of Arsenal's biggest are about to win a trophy to get Champions League because Sevilla and Frankfurt also finished bottom half. One thing is, what I would say about finishing bottom half, a lot of teams understand that the Europa League, and we did it ourselves in 2017 with Jose Mourinho. A lot of these teams understand that, if you win the Europa League, you get Champions League football. So the next few games in the league, a lot of these teams played their second string team. So they ended up coming bottom half. But I didn't see any outroar. I didn't see any outcries about Atalanta, about Frankfurt, about Sevilla. I didn't see any crying in the media. I didn't see any of that happening. I just find it astonishing that when it is Manchester United, when Manchester United are concerned, and then, it is the end of the world. This is what it is. It's the end of the world. Man United shouldn't be qualified for the Champions League. And you know why they are like this? It's because of fear. They fear us. They fear the wounded beast. They fear that Man United are going to come back. They fear that Man United are going to get back on our pedestal. That's why they don't want it. A lot of these media outlets are Arsenal fans, Liverpool fans, Chelsea fans, City fans. A lot of them are, and a lot of them don't like us. Many fans from around the world who has been supporting Arsenal and Liverpool and stuff, we've made them cry for 20 years. Let's be quite honest with you. They must have invested a lot on bloody tissues because we have made them cry a lot of times over the last 20 years. We've made them suffer over the last 20 years. So our player had a good rest and the strongest team is available. I doubt we will lose from here. We deserve it, Europa League, and then any other existing team in the Europa League. As if, you know what will be good, bro? You know what will be good? Man United qualifying for the Champions League. And I'll tell you why. Don't tell me, and I'm not saying this through biased. Right? The Champions League is less without Man United. Without Man United, the Champions League is less. The Champions League is less. You know what I mean? Without Manchester United. You know what I mean? And I feel like Man United need to qualify for the Champions League. for this Champions League because we had prestige to it. You know, we had prestige to the Champions League. And because let's be honest, obviously, thanks to Inter Milan, the tournament has been brilliant. You know, and Barcelona, the tournament has been brilliant. Those two games in the Champions League were brilliant. And I'm not going to take anything away from that. But overall, the Champions League has not been good. Do you know what I mean? It's not been good. And I would say that Man United being back in the Champions League, they know that, you know, if we get in the Champions League, anything can happen. Anything can happen in the Champions League. Good afternoon, Ephraim. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Hope you're good. Ephraim, good to see you. Absolutely. Not only Manuel Petit has said saying God don't know how to concentrate on their next season, Netflix league. Absolutely, Asif. You know what I mean? They need to concentrate on themselves. The fact that Arsenal have not won a trophy in 5 years, why are they concentrating on us? Why are they so infatuated with us? You know what I mean? You can see the hatred that Manchester United have with rival fans. You know what I mean? You can see with rival players as well. You can see we affected them. They still have Ryan Giggs running past Vieira and Petit in the FA Cup semi-final in 98-99. I bet they have cold sweats at night. I bet they wake up in the middle of the night. You know, oh my God, you know, what's wrong, darling? Oh, you know, I just had a bad dream about Ryan Giggs, you know, running down the wing. You know, I can't get it out of my head. This is what it is. Because 98-99 typified everything that we have done to those ex-players, fans. We've made them suffer. We've made them cry. We've made them, you know, at the end of the day, we've hurt them over the years. We've hurt them over the years. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And, you know, 20 years of pain. You know, 20 years of pain for these ex-players and these pundits and stuff like that. But what needs to be facts here is that Manchester United put English football back on the map back then. You know what I mean? Ephraim, in our worst season, we still win 3 cups. And Ephraim, in any other era of football team, right? In any other football team, this will be their golden era, wouldn't it? 3 trophies, 3 years, including 1 European trophy. Now, I am pretty certain next year, and anyone can click me with this. Anyone could click me with this. Man United will be a lot better next season with the players that Ruben Amorim wants. Now, Ruben Amorim knows, and he said it in this press conference, that this isn't the best Man United team of all time. This is the worst Man United team. But we're still in line to win a European trophy. You know? Now, you get caught between a hard place. How do you say it? A rock and a hard place. Because Man United need to win this Europa League. So what they're going to do is that they've literally got one eye on the Europa League, and they can't really think about the Premier League. They have to think about the Europa League. And this happened in 2017 as well, because the Europa League represents European football, Champions League football. Asif, absolutely so. United is still a nightmare to many haters. They cannot resist United in their dreams. Exactly, Asif. And we don't have any inkling or any hard feelings with Arsenal. I thank Arsenal for a great 20 years. I mean, we didn't battle Arsenal for 20 years. We had Blackburn, we had Newcastle, we had all these teams. But I thank Arsenal for a good rivalry that we had. It was a great rivalry that we had, you know. But they seem very bitter, and that's fine. They could be bitter about it, but it happened, and you lost, mate. We were better than you, and even in our worst period, in our worst decade, guys, check the maths, however you want to say it. Man United have been more successful than Arsenal this last 10 years. You can throw the second place out. Only Gunnar Solskjaer got second place. Jose Mourinho got second place. It doesn't matter. It's just the second best loser. We've still won more trophies than Arsenal. And won more European trophies. Hell, Tottenham Hotspur could be, you know, I mean, they've reached, if they get to the Europa League final tomorrow, they've reached more European finals than Arsenal. Now, how is that even possible in Arsenal's golden era? Now, I don't like talking about Arsenal, but obviously Arsenal, they force us. And you can see Ruben Amorim in the press conference. You can see the way he was. I mean, I don't understand why Arsenal are so infatuated with us, are so obsessed with us. I mean, at the end of the day, we're not their rivals, right? They're in their own league, right? And stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And And it does make me giggle because at the end of the day, it just shows you that they're scared of Man United. Arsenal are scared of Man United. If they were not scared of Man United, they wouldn't even talk about Man United. They wouldn't even mention the fact that Man United might qualify for the Champions League. That would be irrelevant to them because they got bigger fish to fry, haven't they? Bigger fish to fry. That's what they got, isn't it? You know, they wouldn't get ex-managers, Arsene Wenger, you know what I mean, talking about Man United in a bitter light. They wouldn't get Emmanuel Petit talking about Man United in a bitter light. We hurt them over the last 20 years. We destroyed their dreams. You know, they are still dreaming about Man United, waking up in cold sweats, thinking about Ryan Giggs running past the midfield, burying it into the top corner past Seaman. They're still thinking about Cristiano Ronaldo in the Champions League semi-final, 3-1 at the Emirates. Ronaldo scoring from 40 yards, smack past Almunia. They're still thinking about that. They're still crying about that. That still comes in their head. They're still thinking about 8-2 and 6-1 and this and that. That's what they're still talking about. And I'm not just exclusively talking about Arsenal here. I'm talking about Liverpool. I'm talking about Chelsea. I'm talking about Manchester City. They are so obsessed with us that we are literally keeping them up at night. The fact that we might qualify for the Champions League, despite winning the FA Cup, despite winning the Europa League, don't you think we deserve the FA Cup? 2 trophies. It's better to come in 5th best team because I beat Southampton and Everton. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. I came 5th. Well done. You came 5th. 5th best loser. Be the champions or something. Win something. That is what football is. No one is stopping these teams from winning anything and going on their own path because that is what it is at the end of the day. But these teams just want to concentrate on why Man United winning the Europa League. You listen, Arsenal. You have not won Europa League. You have no right to pick and choose what European trophy has the credentials that suit your narrative. You have no right to pick and choose which trophy you rate and which trophy you haven't because you haven't won a trophy in 5 years, Asna. All right? So you need to just calm down. Right? Calm down. Calm your tits. And that's what I would say about that. Thank you so much. Asif. What has Netflix team won under Arteta in the last 6 years? And that too in their best 6 season, 20 years. Community show. Absolutely, as if they're the greatest era of Arsenal. We should all be scared of Arsenal. We should all be scared of our scary Arsenal, as Terry Flewis says. Scary Arsenal. You know, we should all be scared of Arsenal. I'm absolutely not scared of Arsenal. You know what I mean? That's like being scared of Barney the dinosaur. It like being, you know, I'm scared of Arsenal. I mean, come on, man. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Big up, Asif. Ephraim, if we buy players for this formations, only if they sack Amran can that affect the coming manager. But that could be said about every manager. This whole thing could be said. The overriding fact right now is that Ruben Amorim has not been backed. So we don't know. Right? This is the risk in football. We can bring in a new manager, and the new manager will spend money, and he might do badly too. And then we're left with players from that manager. The most important thing I would say is that we support the manager that has been there, that is exposed to the problems at Man United and fix those problems with this current manager. They decided to bring in a manager with a distinctive style of play, right? In the middle of the season, when he wanted to come at the end of the season, without any of his players, remove 3 players from the squad, Anthony Rashford and Malacia, and bring in a player that, you know what, is a young player, and not back him. So they have to spend this summer backing Ruben Amorim. By hook or by crook, they have to back Ruben Amorim. Jengas, man like Jengas, what's going on, brother? I hope you're doing well. Speaking of that, big up, my bro. Hope you're doing well, man. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. United has fallen since Alex Ferguson and still managed to win 2 FA Cups, Carabao Cup, 1 Europa League, another Europa League loading. Absolutely. And Asif, what will happen if you win Europa League? You know, we will go into the Super Cup and we may even win the Super Cup. We may even do that. Wouldn't that be absolutely incredible? Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be great? You know what I mean? And we can go from there. You know, as I've always said, like in life in general, like, you know, it just takes a spark to ignite something, you know, to ignite something special. It does just sometimes just take a spark. Big up my friend from Rwanda. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Big up the Rwanda family. Hope you're doing well back in Rwanda. Much love to you guys over there. And yeah, welcome to the stream. Welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining me, my friend. Thank you. I heard Wenger have been piping up about United, his mentality scarred. Exactly, this is what we've been talking about in the show, Jengas. We had the press conference earlier, and we're talking about going through dissecting some of what Ruben Amorim had to say. Basically, Ruben Amorim said about Arsene Wenger, he just said, look, these are the rules. We follow the rules. Some people want to change the rules, but we're going to follow the rules. You know, at the end of the day, that is what it is. And you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if, because of this onslaught on this, this crybabies in the media and stuff like that, that they end up changing the rules anyway next season. And they say, oh, well, you know what, you don't qualify for the Champions League if you win Europa League. You know, I don't agree with this. You know, I think a Europa League should equal a Champions League spot. Like winning the Champions League should equal a Champions League spot. I do believe winning things should be equaling to Champions League. Champions is not fourth, second, third, fourth, fifth. That's not a champion for me. But I'm going to say this. Second, third, fourth, you can qualify for the Champions League. But the rest of it, like, you know what I mean? Fifth place shouldn't be qualified for the Champions League. Come on, guys. It is diabolical at the end of the day. But the way these people. Asif, imagine Amorim getting his player to unleash his wrath on these so-called Netflix teams. Hopefully, Amorim gets free hands to bring his players. He will look good. And this is what I was saying, Asif, earlier on. And I know I got in a little debate with some people about, look, let's say for argument's sake, hypothetically speaking, Man United sell Bruno, right? Right? Let's say we sell him for 150 million, okay? Who's to say that all that money right there, all that money that Man United bring in for Bruno is going to go towards the squad? How can we trust Vivell, Wilcox, Barada, and Jim Ratcliffe and the Glazers with that type of money? You know, imagine we got rid of Bruno and we brought in Tyler Dibbling and Liam Delap. What are we going to do then? I mean, we're heading towards the relegation zone, ain't we? You know, at the end of the day, we got far more bigger fish to fry in regards to the smaller fish to fry, I would say, in regards to players leaving. We got Anthony, we got Rashford, we got Shaw, we got Mason Mount, we've got Malacia, we've got Anana, there's plenty of players there that need to leave. Maybe Casemiro needs to leave because of his wages. I might keep him for one more season, but maybe he needs to leave because of his wages. Maybe Rasmus Højlund needs to find another club if he's not scoring goals. And, you can go on and on and on and Ariston about, what players need to leave, what players need. Some players, people think Dalot needs to leave as well. Some players need to do that. Then you add Eriksson and you add Lindelof, who are going to be leaving, and Evans on free transfers. So and then you're going over 10 players there. And not one of those players should be Bruno. And I will stand by that at the moment. I mean, until that they can promise me that if Bruno is sold, the money's going to go exclusively on the team, then maybe. But then again, guys, finding a Bruno, we got more chance on finding Nemo than finding a Bruno these days. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. What I would say, finding a Bruno will be extremely difficult, right? We will not find another Bruno type player. These days, we got a number of players, an influx of players with egos, with self-interests and agents and stuff like that. There's not many players who are fit and available every single game, ready to fight for the badge. This player is dying out. This type of player is dying out now. This type of player doesn't exist anymore. I mean, if it does, it's very, very rare. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, selling Bruno, okay, right? Some people want him gone. It does obviously conflict with opinions and stuff, and people do have different opinions and stuff, and that's well and good. But I want to know the facts here. I want to know what you're going to do if you sell Bruno. Because goodness me, you sell Bruno, right? You're going to put a lot of pressure on yourself. You know what I mean? You're going to put a lot of pressure on yourself to find a new Bruno. You know what I mean? And not only that, every single team will know Man United have 150 million odd in the bank. So what they're going to do? They're going to raise the prices of their players. They're going to say, well, you know what? They got 150 million, Put another 20 million on the price tag. And that's what they're going to do. Eric Ten Hag has won more than Arteta, and these are facts. Absolutely, Jengas. All we spit is facts here. This is what we do, isn't it, Jengers? You know, all we do is spit the gospel, is talk the facts. That's all we do. We don't sugarcoat anything. We're not Willy Wonka. You know what I mean? We don't sugarcoat anything. We talk the facts. This is what we do at this in this fan base. You know, Erik ten Hag does have more trophies than Arteta. You know what I mean? Erik ten Hag reached 3 finals, 1, 2. You know, people can talk great. He also came 3rd place once. You know, so I really don't understand Arsenal fans. I think they have a severe dose of delusions of grandeur, and I think that they really feel like they are above what they are. Look, they beat Real Madrid. Fair play. The worst Real Madrid I've seen in years, by the way. You know, I've never seen a Real Madrid side that bad. And the reason is because we beat Arsenal with 10 men. And I don't think Arsenal were all over us. I mean, the referee was giving them everything, including a penalty. But I think like we beat Arsenal with 10 men. I don't rate Arsenal like that. It's one of the worst Arsenal sides I've seen. LT, rivals and the media have always been bitter that we're a trophy-winning club. Even our worst, we still win trophies. They want just to speak negative about United and how crap we accept when we win. They're hurting, LT. They're hurting. I guarantee you that they're secretly hurting right now. They're in pain. They need their antibiotics, guys. They need to see the doctor because they're in pain. They're thinking about Man United qualifying for the Champions League. Imagine Man United have a wicked summer this summer. Imagine Man United sign all these players. Imagine Man United sign Ruben Amorim style players. Imagine that. Imagine that with Champions League football. You know what I mean? Imagine how that would be. You know? That'd be incredible, wouldn't it? And that's enough to worry the rivals. Because every single person in football knows that Man United is the biggest club in England. The biggest. Not the best at the moment, the biggest. And when you get the biggest, if you can match that with the best, you become the best. Now, if Man United become the best again, it only takes a few tweaks. It only takes something to spark. And that could be Champions League football. That is what they're truly worried about. They're petrified of it. They're scared of it. They can't, they can't really handle Man United being in the Champions League, because they want to make fun of Man United. They want to say, they want to talk about the Europa League. They want to scream about the Europa League. Now, I come from a generation where the Europa League means something. The UEFA Cup, it means something, winning UEFA Cup. And you want to downplay Inter Milan, who've won it, Barcelona, who've won it. Great teams that have won. Real Madrid have won the UEFA Cup. You want to downplay that because you know what? It's not the Champions League. No, it's not the Champions League, but there is only a few trophies to play for in Europe. West Ham have won more European trophies than Arsenal that currently exist. And now Arsenal want to bring it back to the old Fairs Cup. They want to bring it back to the Cup Winners' Cup in 1994. They don't exist anymore. So, mate, you have less European trophies than bloody Leyton Orient. So concentrate, Arsenal fans, on actually winning a trophy that currently exists right now. That should be the plan for you, right? Sometimes I I'm on my Twitter, and I don't bother any Arsenal fans. I don't bother going after rival fans. I don't bother going after Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City. It doesn't bother me. I just concentrate on my team. I tweet about my team. And then the problem is that some of my, when we're playing Lyon or when we're playing Athletic Bilbao, people coming to us, oh, you beat a team that sounds like a Hobbit. Oh, you beat a team. And they're trying to downplay what we do, When you've never won the Europa League, you never won a European trophy. So how can anyone who's never won a European trophy downplay a European trophy? It's crazy. FM. We take their childhood dreams of winning trophies. I mean, Ephraim, when I was growing up, right, in the 90s, watching Manchester United and stuff like that, winning, I actually felt sorry for Arsenal fans, Tottenham fans, Liverpool fans. Chelsea was shit then, so it didn't really matter. Man City weren't even in the Premier League, didn't really matter. I felt sorry for these fans because we were serial winners, not 2 Premier League trophies in 35 years. We're talking about, 13 in 20 years. You know what I mean? 13, and it does, you know, I used to feel sorry for these teams, but now looking back, I wish I was a little bit more smug. I wish I was a bit more arrogant, you know, and next time Man United do win major trophy, when they do win the Premier League and the Champions League, I'm going to make sure you're going to see prime smugness. Because I was always very humble. I'm a humble guy. I've always been humble. I remember when we beat Arsenal once, and you know, Arsenal beat Man United. It used to be like a celebration for Arsenal fans. So I used to have a lot of. I lived in London. I used to have a lot of Arsenal fans in my class at school and stuff like that. And every time Arsenal would beat us, which was very rare, they would celebrate like they've won a trophy, you know. But when Man United would beat Arsenal, which was very frequent, I would be like, "Oh, you had a good game. Well done. Unlucky. I'll be like that. I'll always be calm and quiet. You know, at the end of the day, I don't like jumping from the ceiling and saying, yeah, because I know that life can slap you in the face. I know what it's like, you know, and not the least in football as well. Football can slap you in the face and that's it at the end of the day, you know. So you've got to be humble. But nowadays, when I think back and I think in the future, if Man United win the Champions League or Man United win the Premier League, hell, I'm going to be smug. I'm going to be smug after the Europa League if we win it. It's the way it is. They changed me. I didn't change. Cengiz, I've caught the press conference yet. I'll watch it later. Big up, Cengiz. It's on here anyway, most of it. Big up, Cengiz. Thank you, mate. What United has been through, no other Premier League can achieve during this period. What we United achieved, we managed to pull off Hollywood signings in a worse season. Man United would still continue to pull off miracles because Man United is all about football heritage, Asif, and you're absolutely right. You know, we still sign the likes of Cavani and Ibrahimovic and Falcao and Schweinsteiger and these type of players, you know, in our worst ever period, you know. This is the thing. This is what football heritage is. And football heritage you can't buy, you know. Football heritage comes from history. It comes from a legacy that is been going on for years and years and years. You know what I mean? This is what it is. This is the football heritage. This is what football heritage is all about. It's about a legacy, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And you know what I would say is that Arsenal can't match that. You know, not even Liverpool can match our football heritage, where we came from in the 50s and the 60s. No one can match that. Cengiz, it's not really been the Champions League for years. Everybody knows it's more of a mini European Super League to generate. So I've no idea why rivals are crying now. It's ridiculous. I don't have any idea, Cengiz, because at the end of the day, I can't remember the last time Liverpool went to the Champions League as champions. I can't remember the last time Arsenal went to the Champions League as champions. You know what I mean? I remember when Man United went to the Champions League as champions. And, you know, I believe that, you know, winning the Europa League, you know, I mean, I would rather have a league table in the Europa League of Conference League winners, Europa League winners, FA Cup winners, you know, La Liga, Copa del Rey winners and stuff like that. Every single team a champion of something. The Champions League, you know what I mean? And I would like that, you know? But obviously money talks, and this is a mini Super League, it is. This is the only reason that these teams like Arsenal qualify for the Champions League, because of money, you know? But I guarantee you this, you can watch your Champions League final, right? You can watch the game tonight between Arsenal and PSG. There will be more viewers watching Man United against Athletic Bilbao. There'll be more viewers watching Man United or whoever we play in the final than the Champions League final. Because that is how important Man United being in the Champions League is. He hasn't mentioned it, to be honest with you, but it does look serious. He's out. He did say he's out, but it wasn't asked. The question wasn't asked as to whether it is serious or not, but he is not playing tomorrow. Which position is Ahmed's best position? Can I be honest, Ephraim? Winger. So the best thing Man United can do is play him as a right wing back for tomorrow's game. And guys, I'm going to bring this in. My team for tomorrow. My team for tomorrow. Let's go for it, guys. Here we go. This is the team that I would go for tomorrow. You know what? Subjective, of course. You know, it's not set in stone, but it is subjective. This is the team that I go for tomorrow, guys. Man United against Athletic Bilbao. And I'm going for Man United 3, Athletic Bilbao 0-0-0-0. Now, I'll play Onana in goal. I think it's pretty obvious. Onana's going to play in goal. Euro as a left-sided centre-back. Maguire and Mazraoui as to make up the centre-backs for me. I will play Ahmad as a right wing-back with Casemiro and Ugarte holding the double pivot. Dorgu, of course, as a left wing-back. Garnacho and Bruno as the number 10s. And Rasmus Højlund up front. That will be my team. And obviously, my prediction is Manchester United 3. Athletic Bilbao 0. That is my prediction for the game, guys. And yeah, let me know what you think about the team, guys. Let me know what you think about the team. If you have any changes there, yeah, of course, guys. Jengas, the crazy thing about United being in the Champions League will generate money for the competition, especially the smaller European teams. They love to draw United. It's a glamour game for them. Absolutely, Jengas. And I guarantee you, if you asked FIFA, UEFA, about Manchester United being in the Champions League, they'll say it's good for the competition. It's good for football, for Man United to be in the top tier of European football. It's a good thing. You know what I mean? I would absolutely agree. Yale, Barcelona players and Catalan media outlets have called for UEFA to investigate Szymanski and Zaczynek labeling the Polish referee a Madridista. You know what I'll say, Yale, in regards to Barcelona? Barcelona just need to cry on. Keep crying. Go home. They are the masters of dark arts of football. They cheated their way. The greatest Barcelona team, the greatest team of all time, shouldn't have beaten Chelsea in 2009. It should have been Chelsea going to the final for the second year in a row against Man United. They were cheated. They have no right, Barcelona fans, Barcelona media, Barcelona Football Club, to talk about referees being Madristas and things like that. Because we can bring up a whole number of favoritism in regards to Barcelona over the last 10 years. And I would look at the two finals against Man United, and people won't look at the certain things in those games that contributed towards Barcelona winning those games. Barcelona crying like Bilbao. Spanish always cry. I mean, didn't Bruno Fernandes say the Spanish and the Portuguese are always crying about the referees? That's what he said last week. And they do. They can't take the fact that it's the ego. They can't take the fact that they've lost. And that's it, of course. Asif. Sal, United could make a 70 million if they qualify for the Champions League. Ended up losing 8 first stages games. It will be over 100 million if they perform Champions League next season. And FIFA knows the potential of United. Absolutely, I agree with that. Hey, babe. Absolutely, I agree with that. Sorry. Absolutely, I agree with that. Spot on. Man United are power. Man United accumulate money organically. Man United, if Man United, this is why we wanted a full sale. This is why we wanted Glazers out. This is why we wanted the debt cleared. Because, you know, what we say is that Man United, without debt, without the Glazers, are the most self-sustainable football club in the world, organically. Imagine the PSR and the FFP if Man United had no debt. Imagine what the transfers we would be making, the power we'll have, the money we'll have. Absolutely, Asif. Spot on again. Wait till Delete injury is not as serious as first thought. He could be a feature in the final. Yeah, it's not as serious, but he's not ready for tomorrow, Marmin. I think he'll be fit for the final. Hopefully, fingers crossed. It's not as bad as first thought, but he won't play tomorrow, my friend. Of course. Jengas, Leon, Bilbao, and Sociedad are respected European teams. We've had harder teams in the campaigns. And look at this. Jengas. Bilbao have won more European trophies than Arsenal. So has Leon. You know, at the end of the day, they just need to pipe down, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? They just need to pipe down, you know what I mean, and concentrate on their own teams. People say players can come to Manchester United are drunk. They're drunk, mate. Absolutely, Ephraim. Big up, Ephraim. Not good enough, Yale. I would say that I witnessed Moise Kean playing for Everton and Juventus. I don't think he's good enough, my friend. He's not good enough to take Man United to levels, you know. Didn't quite reach the heights that it was expected of him. And went to Everton, flopped in the Premier League. And I don't think he's that guy. But fair play to him. Triple M, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Triple M. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Ornstein has spoken. Bruno is not going anywhere. I didn't expect Bruno to go anywhere. As I said earlier, I didn't expect him to sign for another football club. I really didn't. I think he's happy at Manchester United. I think he's He's content at Man United, and I don't think he's going to leave now. And I think these rumours need to stop. Man United have a massive game coming up tomorrow. And, I think these rumours are just pure distractions for Manchester United. I think Man United need to concentrate on the league, on this game tomorrow, of course. That's what we need to do. Spurs will always be Spursy in the final. Goodness me. And they're not good. They're not gonna have their strongest lineup. Can't disagree with that, Sal. Big up, Jengus, my friend. Big up. With all the Bruno situation, I see people saying we should sell him, forgetting that he's the captain. Who's going to be the captain? And this is the whole thing I was trying to bring in earlier, is that, there are a whole number of stipulations and situations that could possibly occur if we sold Bruno. But Bruno's going nowhere. So, you know what I mean? There you go. Decent lineup, big up Triple M. I mean, it's subjective, isn't it? There's not much we can do. You know what I mean? When we look at this team, you could possibly play Mazraoui as a right wing back and play Lindelof as a centre back. You could possibly play Mainu in the centre of midfield instead of Ugarte or Casemiro. But looking at this team, to be safe, this is I think the safe option for Man United. It is touch and go whether Ahmad will play in this game. We'll have to wait and see what happens in regards to that. They just played in maybe the very two best league semi-finals in Champions League, and now they taint the game by being a sad puppy. What they need to understand, Yale, is that football can go both ways. Football, luck will always be involved in football, and nothing is exclusively your right to do. And Barcelona seem to think, along with Real Madrid, they seem to think that it is their divine right to get to finals. It's their divine right to win football matches. That's what they think, because it's an egotistical thing. They think they're better than anyone. Let's not forget that Barcelona there's only one club written on the Nou Camp for many, many years. There's only one club in Spanish. They had that written on their stadium. So they believe they're bigger than anyone else. And they were only big when, the golden generation came through. I love that team, and that's the best we can put out tomorrow, and having Ahmad would be great addition. Absolutely, LT. It will be fantastic because it will add that pace on the width, wouldn't it? It's exciting because we could push Athletic Bilbao back. We could push them back, and we can create chances with Ahmad. Absolutely. And rather than going into a back five, it'd be better than Ahmad. I mean, I'm glad he's back. He's come back at the right time, of course. This line is good. My prediction 2-0. Big up, Kenny. Yeah, I mean, big misses for Bilbao. Big misses tomorrow. No Nico Williams, no Anarchy Williams, no Sansele. I think Sansei is their striker. He's not playing either. They've been left at the squad. So if Man United lose this game against a makeshift Bilbao team, it'd be very, very disgraceful. Right? Absolutely. But I don't think they will. I didn't hear Bruno saying that fair play to him. He said it in Spanish, Jengus. It's on my Twitter page. He said it in Spanish to a Spanish media outlet. They were talking about the how do I say it? The red card on Rasmus Højlund, and Rasmus Højlund told them the facts about football. He said that if you go for the ball, you have to go for the ball with your feet. If you go for the ball with the ball, go for the ball, it's a yellow card. If you don't go for the ball, it's a red card. So basically, the Athletic Bilbao player didn't go for the ball. He pulled Rasmus Højlund back. And he said that is the rules. Maybe you don't know the rules. And he said that typical Spanish and Portuguese moaning about the referee. I know they didn't like that. They absolutely hated that. They hated that. Big up. Yeah, I think he's fit to play, Maz. He's fit to play. Hopefully he will be. If United win lift Europa League, Nottingham Forest will not make it to European stage. It's always United who destroys them even facing them. And that's not our fault, is it, Asif? We can only do what we have to do for ourselves, for our football club. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, if Nottingham Forest wanted to qualify for the Champions League, they needed to get in the top four, which they haven't, which they might not do. That's not our fault. You know, that's up to them. You know, we had our priority. They should have had their priority, and they had a chance to get in the top four all season. If they don't get there, it's disappointing for them. And I'm sorry, but you know what? That is football. Football is not about niceties and things like that. It is about, you know what I mean, ruthlessness at the end of the day. Maz was fully arrested against Bullet Jale. Yeah, fully arrested. Hopefully he comes out fitter and better. I think it's just precaution. But Yale, I cannot say exclusively 100% that he's going to play. But I think he was just being rested. I think he's all right. According, I need to go back through that interview. Not many questions were asked about injuries, unfortunately. Moise Keane is another purple patch player. Yeah, he had a good little spell, didn't he? Bruno's staying. Big up, Kenny. This sent a selection cell, but I would like to bring in Mainu to the game and Mount to the game at some point. Yeah, I agree, Asif. I mean, we got a squad there that we can use. We can use Mason Mount. I mean, I don't even mind if we start Mason Mount and Mainu. But I would start. I mean, I wouldn't start Mason Mount myself, but I would bring him on as a substitute later in the game because obviously he can hold up the ball and he can create control in that midfield for Manchester United. And definitely. I mean, it is subjective, of course, Asif. But most important thing is for Man United to win that game, and that is all I care about. No, Lindelof. You never know, though, do you, Jenkins? You never know. We might see him. We probably will see Lindelof tomorrow. I know we're ahead of, but I still need to keep our head gear on. Absolutely, Triple M. Professionalism and respect. That's what we need to do tomorrow. And enter that game, as Garnacho said in the press conference today. Enter the game like it's 0-0. That's it. Enter the game like it's 0-0. Asif, there'll be good coming off the bench, hopefully. Yeah, we got a lot of players. Great. I mean, glad we got some players coming back as well. Absolutely. Ahmed needs to remain sharp on the defensive duties if he's playing well. I agree, Jengus. This is one concern, but I mean, hopefully we won't need too much defense. I mean, Athletic Bilbao don't really score many goals. I've seen with Amram to see he's a great manager because I see the players are locked into the calls and we have fighting spirit now. With the right players, we can be very competitive. Absolutely, LT. Be like LT. Great comments, mate. Absolutely. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Brilliant. Big up, Darren. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Hope you're good. Good to see the legend back. I may miss the game tomorrow. I'm working on a massive project at work and all hands on the deck. And so best of luck on your project, Yale. I hope it goes well for you. Best of luck to you. And I wish you the much success, my friend. Much success, of course. Red card was 100% correct. He had a good game in a hostile environment. Absolutely. Especially when Bilbao tried to dive and things like that. They tried to simulate and they tried to cheat, didn't they? You know, it was disgraceful. Darren, early goal kills the game, then we can make changes. Yeah, that would be lovely, Darren. That would be lovely. An early goal to kill the game. Because then Athletic Bilbao will have no choice but to come at us and full throttle, and then you can pick them off. That's why my prediction is 3-0. I predicted 3-0 because I think that's what's going to happen. I actually think that Man United will win the game comfortably because of this. I don't think Athletic Bilbao are a goal-scoring machine. I don't think that. I think that they struggle to score goals, a bit like us a little bit, but worse than us, I think. But, I think Man United will pick off the game, absolutely. They will pick off the game, and, I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow because it is an interesting one. And it's been a while since we've been 3-0 up in the game, you know what I mean? Especially winning the first leg 3-0. You know, it does add a little bit of calmness to me. Obviously, the game kicks off 11 o'clock. So I want it to be as calm as possible. I don't want it to be another nervous night, extra time and all that, going to 2 o'clock in the morning. Hopefully, it won't go there. Hopefully, Man United will control the game and in-game management will be there. And we just concentrate on getting through. Even if it is 0-0, Man United get through. Doesn't really matter. To me, getting to that final is the most important thing, of course. Big up, Danny B. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Nothing changes. Any news on Delete? Nothing at the moment, but he could be fit for the final, Darren. He could be fit for the final. What do I make of that? I wouldn't risk him in the final. I mean, if he's not going to be playing football all season, he's not fit tomorrow, but if he's not going to be playing football all season, would you risk him in a European final against potentially Spurs? It's going to be a difficult one, isn't it? I like Delete. I mean, if he can come back earlier, play a couple of Premier League games, that would be good. Come on, Triple M. Triple M, if that happens, I'll be absolutely delighted. Man United will win the Europa League because I'm not being disrespectful to Bodo Glimt because I'm not that guy. But I would say that Bodo Glimt away from their home and not quite the same outfit. You know, so I think if Man United play Bodo Glimt, Man United will win that game. You know what I mean? I would say that. Hopefully, all money's on Bodo. All prayers are on Bodo Glimt getting through and Bodo Glimt winning that game. Everyone is saying Spurs and United don't deserve Champions League. How on earth or do they deny the fact United have been serial silverware winners no matter what? I mean, what I would say, Asif, is that all these teams that are complaining about Man United being in the Champions League need to check their history. They need to thank Man United for being pioneers of English football in regards to the Champions League. That's what they need to do. They need to concentrate on doing that. Do you know what I mean? Rather than moaning about being in the Champions League. It's because of teams like Manchester United that the Champions League has so much attraction now and revenue because of us. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And they just need to, respect that, of course. And they need to stop moaning. Let's hope so. Big up, Darren. Hope you're well. Can we please lay off Ugarte and Dorgu? Because we keep saying give a player a season to adjust, yet bad games and we stuff. I mean, I don't understand it, LT. Ugarte's been brilliant recently. I just feel like people have an agenda. What happens in a part of this fan base is that they pick an opinion and they stick by that opinion. And it's not an opinion that is based on love for the football club. It's an opinion based on love for their ego. So what they do, they don't want to be proven wrong. So what they'll do, they'll sacrifice themselves like a sacrificial lamb. They'll go against Ruben Amorim or they'll go against Ugarte, and then they'll say, oh, you know what? They'll stick to that narrative forever, and they won't let it go. In fact, they want Man United to lose so they can be proven right, and that is what it is, unless their favorite player plays. What kind of fan is that? What kind of support is that? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, when you worship your opinion over the football club that you supposedly supposed to love. You know what I mean? And this is what I mean. And there is an influx of this type of fan. And, I would love to get rid of these type of people at the fan base. It's impossible, but I would love to get rid of them, just like I would love to get rid of the Glazers. Absolutely. Good thing is we are spreading the goals around recently. Cass, Mount, Ugarte, Ahmad, Ugarte, Ras, Maguire. Absolutely, Jengas. Great point. That is very important as well. Wenger talks out his arse, and absolutely. I was speaking earlier about Arsene Wenger. I mean, Arsene Wenger is the biggest hypocrite in football. I mean, that guy said you should get a trophy for finishing fourth place, Darren. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And he's talking about, Man United qualifying for the Champions League for winning the second European trophy, the second best European trophy. It's unbelievable, isn't it? The hypocrisy, isn't it ironic? I sound like Alanis Morissette, but that's what it is. Talk a lot of crap. Fourth place FC, never won a European trophy for Arsenal. He has no right to talk about Man United, the credentials of a European trophy and what should be rewarded if you win a European trophy, if you've never won a European trophy. Do you know what I mean? For Arsenal, the great Arsenal, the Invincibles who never won a European trophy. Do you know what I mean? There you go. Spurs will be playing at Bodo's ground. It's a plastic, absolutely. There you go, a bit plastic like a few of our fans, unfortunately. Dorgu, I believe, will be much better next season. He will be. He's a young player. He will get better, of course. He will get better. Definitely. Triple M, Spurs will flap. I can't wait. If that happens, I'm here for it, Jengas. I'm here for it. Imagery has been playing non-stop this season. He only missed a handful of games through injury. Him and Bruno needed full rest. We knew it last week. Our strongest team will be rested for the weekend. Absolutely, Asif. We knew it. And it's good. It was a good thing that they were rested. Bruno rested, Mazraoui rested. It goes to show you how much Ruben Amorim is concentrating on this tournament. He's absolutely putting all his eggs in the Europa League basket. And hopefully it goes well for us. And, let's say we're in the final. We've got a good chance of winning the final. Like I said, if Man United were in the Champions League right now and Man United played the Champions League final against Tottenham, a bit like Liverpool did, didn't it? Wouldn't you be happy? I would be delighted with that. I'll be delighted with that. So we need to look at the ambition that we have and say, like, Tottenham should be a walkover. Even if we play Bodo Glimt or Tottenham, we should be looking at winning that European final. And yes, Tottenham have beaten us this season a few times, but that was circumstantial and contextual in regards to that. Arsene is a Wenger. Absolutely. Guys, I want to thank everyone for joining me today on this extended show of Chatterbox, of course, guys. Thank you for joining me. I am back tomorrow morning for Breaking Dawn. Thank you so much. Asif, I don't want to see a dead game. Come on, guys. It's another European night and let's get it. Come on, Asif. Come on. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow, Asif. Let's go through the emotions again. Man United don't make it easy, do they? But I hope this time we deserve a little bit of rest, don't we? We deserve a little bit of joy. We deserve a little bit of relaxation at the end of the day, in my opinion. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I'm Salwana. This is Chatterbox, and I shall see you. Let me just read out LT's comment. I know it's premature, but I think Amram is the guy who can take us back to competitive meet. I agree with you, LT, 100%. Absolutely. Don't change, LT, because your opinion is spot on. And great chat, Jengas. Big up, Jengas. Your opinion is spot on, LT. You know what? You know ball. You know ball. Absolutely. Cheers, Darren. See you guys tomorrow and have a great evening, morning, night, wherever you are in the world. I'm Sal Warner. This is Chatterbox. Take it easy. See you tomorrow. Peace.